What's up? Bet Big Brad and B1G Wilson. Week 7, Big 10 football choices are about to be made across the land, and we are here to give you the best choices to be made. They're called picks, boys. Wilson, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing all right today. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Ready to get back on the old wagon, if you will, with the bets this weekend. Had a rough weekend across the board last weekend, so I want to just kind of start fresh. Brad, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing all right.
Okay.
Doing all right.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
We usually take some time at the beginning of each show to talk about what happened with the Detroit Lions last week, and they were on bye. Wilson, they are traveling out to I almost
Dallas.
said Denver, but it's Dallas
The
this
boys.
weekend. A win coming for our Lions or no?
No,
Oh
unfortunately, I don't think
man,
so. I don't think so. I feel like they have bad luck with the Cowboys in my lifetime.
I don't like
You
that.
could have said the same thing about the Seahawks though, and here we are. It's the revenge tour, baby. We're
That's
on it.
true. That's true, and I hope
Get
you're
on
right.
board.
I'm on board the team, but not the Jared Goff train.
Oh God, I see. I wasn't even going to
That's fine.
mention
You don't
him
need to
this
bring
week.
them up.
I wasn't even going to mention
Golly.
him. Brad, speaking of
Yeah,
Detroit, though, since we
of
were on
course.
bye, we got to focus on the Detroit Tigers. Are we going to finish that series tomorrow, or are we in trouble?
Uh, it would have been nice to close it out yesterday.
It would have been.
Um, I don't know. I'd like to say that we're going to be okay. This
Mm.
team is resilient, if nothing else. People done counted them out before now.
We got Scooble tomorrow.
Scoobs.
Scooby
We'll be all
snacks.
right. We'll
Scooby
be all right.
snacks.
I
Did
like
you
it.
see? Did you see they moved the game up? It was
I did
supposed to
see
be
that.
at 8 p.m. Now it's a 1 p.m. tomorrow.
1 p.m.
I did not see that. It's at 1 p.m. That's a big move up.
Apparently, there's
Huge.
gonna be some weather,
Hmm.
and they're trying to avoid.
Hmm.
But it helps because of that Ohio State Oregon game.
Oh yeah, we can focus in on that. Before we talk about this week's games, though, I do like to reminisce about last week. Brad, we're gonna
Yeah.
start with you. You went 11-7 last week. That was good enough to get you a win last week. A reminder: your locks were UCLA plus 28 versus Penn State. You got 2 points for that. Michigan
Boom.
State plus 24 in the Friday night game versus Oregon. You got 2 points for that. And the only one you lost
Boom.
was Wisconsin and Purdue. You took the under. Wisconsin went ahead and hit the over all by their lonesome.
Should have
So
happened.
your thoughts on last week with the win, and also, I don't think I paid you yet, did I?
You haven't.
Okay, I got till the end of the show.
Yep. Better give
All right, here we go.
me those ducats, baby. No, I feel good. Feel good. Feels normal. Like I said, that's 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 now for the last 3 weeks. Things are starting to sway in my direction. What am I overall? Am I like less than 5 games back of Wilson now, or what? Where
We'll
am I
get to
at?
we'll get to the overalls in just a moment. Can we recap each person's picks first?
Where am I at overall?
Okay, we'll get to that in just a moment. I believe. Let me see here who we got next. I was next. I did the exact opposite of you, by the way. I went 7-11 and
Uh-huh.
won. And as a reminder, the one push was on the Rutgers and Nebraska game. That was a line that was 7, and it was exactly 7. I took losses on Michigan plus 2.5. They lost by 10, I believe,
Yep.
against Washington. And then I also in that same Nebraska and Rutgers game, I said over, and there was a total of 21 points in that game. So way, 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 way under. Missed out on that big, and my only win was the over on Indiana and Northwestern. Once again, I believe Indiana got close to the over by themselves, I believe, but Northwestern also helped out. Not feeling great, though. Not feeling great. I'm in third place. Like I said, we'll get to that in a second. But first, let's go over Wilson, who had a average week, 8-9-2. Wilson, just as a quick recap, again, you got a double push because you had Rutgers plus 7. You had Indiana minus 13.5, and that was a win. And then you were with me on Michigan plus 2.5 against Washington, and they kind of shit the bed at the end of that game. Your thoughts on last week?
This is a tough week, and I feel like I'm spiraling a little bit, guys. I might look cool and calm in the exterior, but I'm actually
No one can tell what you
internally-
look like.
I'm internally a mess because I seem to every week get a less and less feel for this conference, and I'm nervous that I'm gonna start being below 500 every
You're
week.
blowing it, bro.
Yeah, but I think I
Yeah.
built big enough lead that I'll be all right.
I don't think you have.
It's starting to creep in the back of my head towards the middle. Soon it'll be in the front. That's all I'm saying.
Let's talk about that lead real quick. The records are now on the screen. You still are in first place. It's 81, 60, and 4. Brad is 5 games behind you. He is 76, 65, and 4.
I can make that up this week.
And I'm in last place, 6 games behind Brad even. So that puts me 11 behind you. I'm at 70, 72, and 3, which is under 500, which I do not love at all. Brad, how many more weeks do you need to take the lead?
1.
You're gonna do it this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm nipping at your heels, buddy. I'm coming for you.
I don't even know, because I have to go back and check, like, what picks you guys have that are the same. Like, I'm not positive you guys have enough different picks for that to happen. But we're going to transition into Brad's picks, and we'll get started right with his. Brad, your picks are on the screen. Tell us about your locks.
All right. I am locking in Minnesota, the Gophers, the drinkers of Sprite, -4 versus UCLA. Now, I think I'm the only one with this lock, and I'm a little confused because I feel like this was the easiest lock of the whole week. Tell me I'm wrong and let me know why.
Okay, well, first of all, like I kind of talked about this at the beginning of the show, but if you could pull your camera down just a little bit, we can't see your face. I'm sorry, just a little bit. That's perfect. Oh my God, that's perfect. Sorry, I wanted this to be the best produced show. It looks good right now. It looks good.
Okay, that's
Okay,
great.
Minnesota though, I am with you. I believe I picked that as well. I just didn't lock it in, and I think that that's a good pick. I'm riding with you on that. So I'm going to default to Wilson on this one. Why is he wrong about this, Wilson?
So I actually took the UCLA +4 for my picks, and my locks, you'll notice a theme when we get to it, but I read an article today that Big Ten teams, when they have to travel 2 time zones or more, are 1-8 this year, and 1-9 if you can include Purdue losing to Oregon State. And so I'm going to test that theory and see if it works. So I took any team that had to travel time zones, I took the other team.
Good. Please use something stupid like that so I can catch you this week. There's one right there, Kent. There's one game I'm going to win over him. Perfect. That's a lock. That could be 2 points. I could take the lead by more than a couple games. Here we go. Second lock. I'm sticking with the Terrapins over Maryland. Even though the line changed from Wednesday, -11, I still got them over the Cats, locking it in. Tell me why I'm wrong.
Wilson, I'll let you go first on this.
You're not wrong. I also have that, but it's not one of my locks.
Darn it.
Northwestern's not very good.
That's tonight, by the way, right?
Yeah.
That's the tonight game.
Yeah.
I went with Maryland as well. I would say that the only way that you're wrong is if Maryland has given up on this season. And they're just not like focused in this game. And you know, I still have a little bit of faith in David Braun that he's the type of coach that won't let his team do that. But they seem like a team that is just not very good this year. Like, I'm just not high on Northwestern. And, yeah, 11.5, that's a lot of points. The Friday night games have also been crazy. I guess I'll throw that in as a point that you might get it wrong. But we're all 3 on Maryland tonight, so I can't really disagree with you. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here. If it's a crazy Friday night game and Maryland has given up on the season, that's how we're all going to look stupid tonight.
Okay, that's fine. And then last one, biggest game of the week per casual Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go
Booze
ahead
of
and
the
lock
week.
the booze of the week. We're boozing. I'm locking in Ohio State. They're -3,
Yeah.
right? -3. The Buckeyes. I don't. I think it's gonna be. I hope it's a good game. I just think that Ohio State is more put together right now and can win this game.
Mm. Mm. So I'll talk about this one because Wilson has this as a lock. So I'm gonna let him wait until his picks to talk about this game, I guess. I'm on Oregon, and like I said, I'll wait for Wilson to talk about this game more fully. But the home field advantage. What's
He's
that?
doing it because Ohio State is traveling 2 time zones. So he
All
already
right,
said
fine.
that.
Let's just get it. Let's just go to. I'll go to Wilson's picks next. I'll just transition over here. Wilson, let's start with that lock. Why is he wrong about this? Why did you lock in Oregon?
So mainly these were the last two opponents for Michigan State, and I watched every second of both of those games, and Michigan State was clearly performed better against Ohio State than they did against Oregon. Easily, by far. Michigan State was moving the ball against Ohio State. After the first drive against Oregon, they didn't do anything until they put back up to 7. Second, Ohio State traveling 2 time zones for a night game at Oregon. Oregon by 2 touchdowns.
Oh
Lock it in.
no, sir.
That's bold. That's actually really bold, though.
I mean, I'm still keeping what it is on the sheet as my actual pick for this. But
Oh, of course.
Oregon's going to win by 2 touchdowns.
Wow. Okay.
Can we get a soundbite of that, please? I just want to just want to be able to play that like over and over.
Well, what
after
if he's right though? What if he's right?
Then I'll eat crow then. 2 touchdowns?
Yeah. 14 points.
Wow. Bold statement. All right, what's your second pick then?
My second lock, sticking with the traveling theme. I'm taking Iowa -3 as a lock against Washington.
Is that 2 time zones?
It's like, so you go Pacific to Mountain to Central.
Oh, okay, yeah, I guess so. Okay, yeah.
And
I forget about the Mountain time zone.
But honestly, I don't think Washington's that good of a team. I don't think Iowa really is that either. But they're home to give me the 3 points, or I won't take the 3 points. But it's really just the time zone. Everything else is a wash, in my opinion. I don't think
a wash. I get it. I see what you're doing there. A wash. That's good. That's good. I'm gonna talk. Can we talk about that real quick? I'm on Washington.
Yeah.
I think that Washington is better than Iowa, and I think that some of what the reason why Michigan stayed in that game even slightly last week and made it kind of close throughout the second half until they pulled away by 10 was just because they were confused about what Michigan was doing at quarterback. They went from scheming against a guy that could not throw to a guy that only threw, basically, and it confused them, I think, for a moment, and then they figured it out. Iowa doesn't have, I don't think, unless they're going to bring Brendan Sullivan in and bench McNamara, then they're not going to confuse Washington by anything because Brendan Sullivan can run. They could do the opposite. Like, they could start Cade and then bring Brennan in and, like, do the opposite of what Michigan did and maybe try to confuse them again. But they've already prepped for both now, I feel like. So I just think Washington's ready. I think that defense is going to travel. I know Iowa's got a great defense as well. But, you just said that Ohio State, they're not the greatest when comparing them and Oregon. So how did they just go off against Iowa's defense last week then? They scored at will.
Counterpoint. Washington's total points the last few games, 27, 18, 24, 19. That's against Washington State, Northwestern, Rutgers, and Michigan. They're not going to score more than 24 points against Iowa. The question is, can
But they don't
Iowa
have to,
score?
though.
Right, but it's only a 3-point game. I'll take the home field advantage, and it's a 12 o'clock kick.
How many points do you think Iowa's going to score? That's a better question.
Not more than 14.
23.
I would be if
It's
Iowa scores
23-17.
if Iowa scores more than 22 or more, they're going to win. I think you're right, and I think they'll cover as well. But I don't think they're scoring that much, though.
I mean, outside of the last game, they scored 31 and 38.
Like, I could see this being like 17-10 Washington type game. I don't know, Brad. How you seeing this game?
I like Washington. For some reason, I have the over, and I don't know what my original thinking was when I filled this out, like which drug I was on. So that could determine how my brain was reacting. But I'm going to stick with it, I guess, because you guys both have the under. But I'm on Washington. I just don't think Iowa. They're just Iowa. Like Washington seems to have a little something going. I don't know. I'm not a believer.
Also, Iowa, I don't know if this factors in at all. It probably doesn't, but it's been talked about all week, so I'm going to mention it too. 2 guys leaving the program this week. Is there trouble in paradise right now? Is Kurt Ferentz losing the locker room? We don't know. He possibly is losing the locker room. I don't know.
You guys have no concern about this being a noon Eastern kickoff, though, so 8 or 9 a.m. for Washington?
Yeah, I mean, I can see that playing a factor. You're really locked in on these time things today. Yeah.
I'm a sales guy. I'm selling my point of view.
Okay. That does swing my thoughts a little bit, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I don't know what their travel plans were. Did they come in? Are they already there? Like, did they go Thursday night?
That's the whole point, though.
Are they arriving Saturday morning? Then yes, that's going to affect them a little bit. But if they're there, then
Saturday morning.
They're
we should probably go to Iowa now. We should probably get on a bus soon.
That's the only way I feel like it would affect them. Like, these are 18 to 22-year-old kids. Unless you're Michigan's quarterback and you're 45 or however old he is.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, what's your last lock, Wilson?
Last one, sticking with the travel theme, is USC plus 3.5 against Penn State. In all honesty, though, this is the traditional game that I feel like James Franklin would lose in past years. That make them 10-2.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
It's more of a show me type of thing before I believe in him. But yes, the travel was the main reason I picked that.
I like it. I don't like it. I love it, actually. Brad, do you have any thoughts on that game?
I feel the same way. I took USC.
All right, well, I guess I have to talk about this thing because I'm on Penn State.
Yeah, I think it could be a close game. I could see Penn State winning by 3, but that hook got me to 3.5. That's why I took USC, and they're at home, and they've been playing better. I think their confidence is up. It's going to be a fun game.
For sure. I was fixing your camera for you again. Well, no, because I have different scenes on here, dude. It's hard to explain. Before I switch it to this one, push it up a little bit here. I'll have it locked in next week. A little bit more. There we go. All right. Now we're going to transition. Here we go.
That's way up from when it just was.
I'll have it locked in next week. Dude, it's going to look good, though. You got to go back and watch this on YouTube. It's going to look solid. Okay, where's my locks at? I got to pull up my notes, which I just, for some reason, clicked off of. Let's see. What do I have this week? Okay, I'll go back to the Ohio State-Oregon game. I'm going under 54 points. I think that's a lot of points for 2 teams that have some pretty good defenses. I know that their offenses are also good, but I look for this game being more of a battle and more of a stalemate than just guys being able to score at will like Ohio State did against Iowa, or like Oregon kind of did in parts of the game against Michigan State, but not really. But I just think that I don't think it's going to get over 54. I mean, it's like 21 to 31 is still under. Like, that's a lot of points right there. 54 is a lot. Your guys' thoughts on that one? Am I crazy?
I thought this was one of the harder picks this week. I went over, but I don't feel great about it.
Mm.
So that's my 2 cents.
Same, man. Let me double check. I think I took over as well. But yeah, this was a thinker.
I jumped on it. Just
think it's a
because of
bad
the
pick at all.
defenses is the reason why I did it is just because of the defenses.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
I'm still not sold on Oregon's defense, though.
But
you used Michigan State as a reason why, because they couldn't move the ball against them, on why Ohio State was going to win.
Get you guys off my ass about the travel. But like they've let up a lot of points against teams they should not have.
Yeah.
Like Boise put up 34 on them.
Ohio State's offense is
I guess that's it.
Fucking machine, dude. That's the only thing that went over, and Oregon can score too, because I think Ohio State's defense has some weaknesses, but it could go either way. It could
really
go either way.
I just thought, like, I thought with the number 2 versus number 3 team in the country, this is going to be more of a less of a shootout and more of a grinded out type game. That's why I picked under on this one. I thought it was an easy pick, but maybe I'm stupid. I mean, I'm in last place, so it's not like I can really defend it that much.
Right. Right.
This is a team that's going to be shocked if any of their fans are listening to this at all. I am taking Wisconsin plus 1.5 at Rutgers. And if you were in my mentions or my replies last week with my power rankings, Wisconsin fans hate me right now because of how high I had Minnesota ranked. But, I've been pretty impressed with Wisconsin and how they've been able to score the last 2 weeks. Obviously, last week was basically against air when they were playing Purdue. But even the week before that, though, they jumped out and got on top of USC quick. And that was oh, they can score on this defense? Like, maybe they're actually better than I thought they were. So I'm going to go with Wisconsin. I just am kind of riding the vibes of them right now. I still like Rutgers, and I'm not off them just because they lost one road game at a tough environment in Nebraska. But this is like I said, this is going to be a great game. It's kind of overshadowed by the other great games that are on this weekend, but I'm actually really excited about this one. Wilson, am I crazy about being on Wisconsin? I feel like that's kind of a not very popular pick maybe this weekend.
Yeah, I think you were blinded by that point total against Purdue and discounting their 2 games previous to that where they got their butts kicked. I think Rutgers is a better coach team overall, and I think it'll be a close game, but I'll take Rutgers.
Okay. Brad, you're on Rutgers as well?
I am officially on the board on Rutgers. I think it could. I don't think it's a bad pick. I don't know if I would have locked it in. That's where I disagree with you. Is on the lock.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a bad pick. But
I'm just not seeing the board well right now.
You're risking 2 points, though, brother.
I know. I'm starting to feel like I've made some mistakes this week. Not feeling great. Not feeling great about this weekend all of a sudden. I was excited before we started recording, and now I'm not. Anyways, my last one, I already mentioned it, but I'm on Washington. I almost said Wisconsin again. Washington plus 3 against Iowa. I was on. Let me just defend myself a bit, please. I said Iowa was going to go 11-1 this year. I was very high on them entering the season, and I'm just not anymore. I'm just really not. Their best win right now, best win on the whole schedule was at Minnesota, and I get it. It's a semi-rivalry game. Or just straight up a rivalry game. It's, it was on the road. That's impressive. They absolutely dominated Minnesota in the second half running the ball, and I get it. Great win for them. Great second half for them. They were losing at halftime, though. They did lose to Iowa State. They were losing to Troy at halftime. I feel like we're forgetting about that Troy game. So I'm just not in love with the Hawkeyes as much as I was at the beginning of the season. And I thought Washington was impressive last week. And even in the Rutgers game that they lost, I thought that they played well and they just made too many mistakes. So if Washington plays a clean game again, I think that they're going to win this one outright. That's where you guys come in and tell me if I'm wrong or not.
I thought you were going to call. You've been calling names the
Okay.
whole program.
Brad, your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't ready because.
Okay, Wilson, your thoughts?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm with you. I got Washington. Winning this game outright. I'll take the 3 points for fun, but I got them winning the game. Time zones or no time zones?
Time zones be damned. All right.
I can't wait until I'm 3-0 on my blocks and I just come in next week just shitting on you guys. I can't wait.
I
didn't say anything. I said it was a good idea. In the text I told you, I was like, I see the strategy. I don't disagree with it.
You said I don't hate it.
I don't hate it.
Immediately pick against one of my locks.
I did. I had my picks in before you. To be fair. One other order of business real quick. Twitter. I try to put out the questionnaire, I guess you would call it, the Google form, so people can make picks. So if you're watching this, go to my Twitter account, and I'll put it in the replies. I'll probably do a second tweet tonight, right before the game starts, maybe an hour before the game, just to remind people to get some picks in. We only had 3 people submit picks last week, which is fine. I wouldn't be mad if nobody did it. I'd be okay with that. Our winner, though, was at Bronx Baseball 2, and she went 8-10-1, which would have been good for 3rd place out of us 4. She beat me. That was it. But shout out to Bronx Baseball 2 for getting that win. If you would like to be shouted out next week, all you got to do is fill out the form and win. You got to beat everybody else that filled it out. Last week, she only had to beat 2 people. I think one guy went like 5 and whatever it would have been. And then the other person went like 6. Like 6 wins, 5 wins, 6 wins, and 8 wins is what we had submitted last week. So, anyways, that's everything for today, though. Brad, any final thoughts?
No.
Awesome. Wilson, anything else going on this weekend that, I don't know, just anything to finish up the show?
Let's go Lions.
Let's go Lions. Jared Goff. Jared Goff.
Forward down the field, the Lions
tour, baby.
that will not yield. Watch the points grow.
Put them on camera.
I wouldn't do that to him. All right. Good luck to everyone on their picks. Hope you guys all win all your bets and enjoy all the games this week. We'll talk to y'all next week. I kind of liked Friday because like the lines were updated.
That's what I've been saying.
But you're not always available on Fridays, I feel like.
That's true.
I am.
Okay.